Crofton said they were good.
Oh, yes. I stand by that.
Okay.
A week later.
Yes, when someone has been killed in a one.
Whatever. If I eliminated topics just because it killed someone, then I would be eliminating all topics. Pretty much, we should go through the topics sometimes and be like, which ones are responsible for someone's death? Because
actually, I'm looking through them and not. Well, yeah, some here.
Because I just think of one random one, like cleanses. We did cleanses way back. I guarantee that there's some cleanses gone wrong where someone's died.
Really?
Like guaranteed, yes, for sure.
Yeah, maybe. But
like your body goes in withdrawal of something that you didn't even know that you were, sensitive
so
to.
that's just like scale. You're always gonna win on that one because like IKEA furniture has killed people, but it's
guarantee IKEA has killed someone. And you know what? I'll go further. People have died in IKEA.
Probably. People die everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, there's sometimes.
Here's an interesting fact I learned.
It's not going to be interesting. Go.
Pretty much all mammals have the same amount of heartbeats. So in their life. So a mouse, which lives for 2 years, has about 1.5 billion heartbeats, and a blue whale, which can live to be like 150 years, has about 1.5 billion heartbeats.
So slow my heart and I'll live longer?
In theory, if you can slow your metabolism, slow your heart rate, you would, in theory, live longer. But I listened to a super interesting podcast but it says it pretty much scales in a very predictable, almost mathematical fashion. Yeah. Tiny little animals don't live long, but their metabolisms are super fast and their hearts beat super quick. Giant animals, hearts beat really slow and their metabolism is slower, and they live longer, also proportionally. So the talk was about lifespan, and it's like, why do humans only live to be this old? Why can't we live longer? And that was basically the answer. It's like, we're a pretty big creature, so we live pretty long, but we're not really ever going to live longer than that because it's just the way metabolism works. And so 1.5 billion heartbeats.
I wonder how many of you stop. Actually, I don't want to know.
More than half.
No, wait, no.
Yeah, how old are you? 30?
That would mean that I'm dying at 74.
Also for humans actually average something more like 2 billion, but they say that's because of technological advances that animals don't have access to.
Fuck yeah.
So we're the best. But that's still going to get you tops to in your 90s.
Okay.
All right. So can we do a show or are we done?
Like, hey, I could be playing Heroes of the Storm right now.
Oh, let's
do it.
We just started later. I don't like to do this past midnight. I get really tired. Okay, so let's see here. I think we're good to go. I got the host going up. Sent the tweet out. Made the retweet. It said I think we have a full house today. If you're joining from the stream, hello. I don't think anyone joined from the stream though. I think they're watching.
What? But this is at least as exciting as you playing a video game.
There's some folks in the channel.
Look, you're not going to get sarcastic comments like that during the live stream, or are you?
It's not sarcasm; it's ignorant because people do more than play video games on Twitch, including our show, which is not video games at all.
Well, enlighten me.
Well, they do podcasts.
Our show. That's an
they do art. They make music live. Deadmau5 makes his music live. He has a live stream of his studio, and you can just watch him while he works. Live stream culture, baby. All right. Yeah, and Sean, who is a subscriber on my channel, his body is ready, he says. So, Sean, these are my friends Mike and Crofton. His body is ready for a verdict. You don't want these two to give you a verdict on your body. They will be honest because that's their job here is to be honest.
Is there a picture of it somewhere?
All right, let's just get off that one. All right, you be nice to my subs. My subs are my
it's like that.
My patrons.
You refer to people as subs. Isn't that degrading? Who are you, Sean? You should unsub this guy.
Wait,
it's not sub as in like
does sub mean a subordinate?
Subscriber.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Still. It's like when Kim Kardashian's like, my fans on my fans, and you're like, shut up, Kim Kardashian. Like, these are people.
Look, they're like our patrons. Our patrons enjoy and appreciate what we do enough to toss a few bucks our way. And by the way, paying for our server costs now completely. the show.
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah, and that's appreciated. Maybe we don't call them fans, but we can.
I like the term fans because
I say listeners, people who listen.
In wrestling, they got away. Vince McMahon banned the word fans from the announcers' vocabulary, and replaced it with lots of jargony terms, including the WWE universe. So, like when a fight goes outside of the ring into the crowd, oh my God, they're fighting out in the WWE universe. I'm like, no, they're fighting in the fans. For Christ's sake. And okay, I'm done.
All right.
So weird.
Freaking old men and their complaints. 8-Bit Adventure says he's actually a submarine, and Wicked Kitten says she's a sandwich. All right, let's get started. We won't be talking to you, chat room. We are recording a show, and we are barred from interacting with you. So just FYI. All right.
That was my decree.
There's a law that
I seconded it.
we're just doing this for your pleasure, but we're not going to ignore you.
We need Bo's full attention. It's so narrow.
Mike just,
but if you don't have 100% of it, you may as well not have
Mike
any.
just chided me for calling you subs, and yet we won't acknowledge you through the whole process. All right,
his subordinates. He's the alpha.
Okay. Good, bad, or bullshit, episode 197. It's going to record in 5, 4, 3, 2...
50 Shades of Bo.
Who's hosting?
You.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yes.
Oh, what?
Send you a message
Okay,
saying,
we're going to leave that there.
I was too busy chatting with all my subs. I don't know their names.
All right,
They're subs.
Shut up.
He did know their names.
He knew, yeah. I'll give him credit.
I've met them in real life. All right, some of them, not all of them. Damn it, I gotta start again. We're going. Just stop laughing. I'm not doing the ticks. Hello, and welcome to the Good, Bad, or Bullshit podcast. 3 guys, unlimited opinion. The place where conversation is the foundation for, you guessed it, higher thought. My name is Bo Schwartz, and joining me today is the affable Crofton Steers. Crofton, hello.
Hey, Bo. Hey, subs.
And also joining me and Crofton is the inimitable, and I got it right the first time, Michael Hodgins. One of a kind of dude. Hello.
Inimitable. Hello.
Inimitable.
Hello, listeners.
All right, so we're here. We're doing a show. We're doing it live. And how you boys doing? You guys ready to do this?
Yes, though I almost didn't make it because I was at this weird event that happened in our city right now, part of the Canada 150 kind of like BS marketing.
Whoa.
It sort of is. Come on.
Let's keep the cynicism to a bare minimum.
So there's this thing happening this weekend where there's these giant robotic machines that are walking around our city, and I went to see one of them, and it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. This thing's like the size of a house, and it's like this animatronic spider, and like 11 people drive it. So it's got all these big mechanical arms and lower legs or whatever, and it was perched on top of this giant church downtown, and it was pretty neat. So it was the grand thing. It was its awakening. So it like lifted off this church and kind of moved its legs and then went down, and that took like an hour. And I was like, is it not going to do anything else now? I thought it was going to like walk around, but it didn't. Anyways, it took way longer than I thought, and I barely made it back in time.
That would have scared the shit out of Kid Crofton. I hate spiders. Like a spider, of all things, why couldn't they have done like a giant lizard or dragon or something instead?
Well, there is a dragon. He's waking up tomorrow. But the whole time I was there, because I was there with my kid, and it was way past his bedtime, and I'm like, this may be the seed of nightmares to come, because like I had a specific flashback. My mom took me to see E.T. in theaters in whenever that was, 1980.
I recall this story.
And I had terrible nightmares for a decade about aliens, all because of that movie. If I mentioned it, my mom's still like, oh, I should have never taken you to see that movie. And now I'm like, if that spider does that to me, I'll be pissed.
Yes.
I just have Oh, I have this image of Mike meeting Steven Spielberg in real life, and like I'd be with him, I'd be like, Steven Spielberg, man, oh, I'm such a fan of your movies and all this sort of stuff. And then Mike would punch him just straight in the face and be like, "This is for 10 years of nightmares, you motherfucker."
Yeah. It's like you put an alien in a kid's closet full of stuffed toys. Who would that not give it nightmares to?
Actually, you know what? Steven Spielberg did Jaws, and that screwed me up.
Yeah, that's scary too.
The shark. Oh man, I hate that guy too. Mike, I'd punch him too.
All right.
You know what affected me? I've got my own little story of what affected me, and it was I go to the video store, and I never get to watch the movies, but I go to the horror section and look at the covers. And there was a movie called Ghoulies 2, and I had a green little guy coming out of the toilet. I was scared shitless of toilets. I'm like, I don't want to go poo. I'm gonna get the monster's gonna get me. And my parents were like, "Go to the bathroom, you little kids. Why don't you go to the bathroom?"
Did you ever end up watching that movie?
No, I never did. Actually,
I thought those ones were like borderline comedic.
Yeah,
that's the Gremlins, right?
But I was like 3 or 4. Like it just was just like, oh my god, it's whatever that is. Anyways.
But Hodgins, now, like, we have kids. Imagine that was like, you take Ivan into the video store and there's a horrific creature coming out of a potty, he'd be like, "No, Daddy, I'll never again." Like, it'd be the worst.
Yeah. So that was my thing. All right, well, speaking of
anyways, this
things,
whole weekend, these monsters are gonna fight in our city streets. So
they're
like kaiju. They're like Godzilla and Mothra.
Yeah, they're like giant things, and they're gonna have some battle in the market. Crofton, you said you might see it. Bo, I encourage you to leave your dungeon and go and take a look.
We'll see.
It's only gonna happen once.
The problem with it is there's a ton of people. It's downtown. I'm busing. I don't know.
Those are all
a lot of people, but this is its North American debut, and it may never come back to North America. Like, we got something that even America doesn't.
I mean,
have.
It does look really cool, and for anyone listening, if they want to know what we're talking about, it's La Machine, right?
La Machine.
Yeah, L-A.
Google it.
M-A-C-H-I-N-E.
It's pretty cool.
And if you go,
that's French for the machine.
That's right, La Machine. Est la machine, c'était bon là. J'aime ça. That's how. Yeah, that's what the Quebecers are saying right now. They're like, "Oh mon Dieu, c'est tellement comme étonnant." La machine.
Wait.
What?
Wait. I got it.
What?
Wait for this. Speaking of La Machine, we have a great machine of our own. I'm talking about the random topic generator, huh?
Good segue. I approve.
It was a good gamble because it's my turn to do segue, and you butted
shit.
in. But it was so good that how could I disallow it? If I got mad at you, I'd lose favor among the houses of Westeros. All right, let's find the button for it. I mean, you find the button on your end. Must be starting it. Oh, there it is.
Remember that time the random topic generator reached sentience? That was weird.
Yeah, maybe it will again one day.
Probably not.
Hey, this is one that Bo will know a lot about. Collectible card games.
Oh. So CCGs. And
is that actually an acronym?
Yeah, CCG is collectible card game. TCG is trading card game.
Okay, so what about something like wacky cards? What's that? Just nothing?
That's not a game.
Is there a game?
It's not a game.
No, there's no game.
It's just collectible cards.
It's cards. Okay, so there's collectible cards, collectible trading cards, and then collectible card games?
We're talking about games. So everyone here on the panel, that is, maybe not you listening, we're familiar with the old Magic the Gathering. Back there was a time when I was super into Magic Gathering, made everyone I know play it, and et cetera, et cetera. Then there's a little thing called Hearthstone, which of the three of us, actually, I feel like Michael is the pro Hearthstone player.
Well, it's certainly not pro, but it is the only game I play these days, and I quite enjoy it. I must say, it's a good game.
So that's a collectible card game, but digital. But there's a few others. Yeah. Pokemon is a big one, and Yu-Gi-Oh are big names.
Oh yeah.
In the trading card game or collectible card game.
It's funny though, like because they're not like. I guess they're the same thing because it's digital. Like I never think of Hearthstone as like I have a collection of cards. It doesn't enter my mind that that's what it is. Whereas for a while when Bo was really into Magic Gathering and I bought some packs and stuff, I kind of like, and I had fun playing that game when he was into it to guide me through the minutia of the rules that govern that game. I felt like, okay, I have this little like, I got my cards here, but there's something different. So it definitely includes the digital ones,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, and just like a quick rundown too of some other ones, just so people get the full breadth of scope on just how deep or how prevalent it is. Other ones are there was a World of Warcraft trading card game that was big. There was a Netrunner. There's a Netrunner game. I'm looking it up here. There is a Lord of the Rings one. Like there's one for every brand. Like we talked about product licensing.
What's the one that Crofton played in that other game?
Gwent.
Gwent.
Gwent is the one in The Witcher that now is an independent standalone game. Basically, all right, so here's the... You mentioned wacky cards, and that's an important part because collectible card games comes from the genesis of two things. One is we like to play card games, like with a deck of cards, poker and whatever. And the other one is we like to collect. If there's a reason to make something worthless into something valuable by virtue of rarity and putting pretty cool art on it, collectibles are a thing. And so you marry the two together and you have a collectible card game, meaning you have to collect cards to make your deck or however you play the game powerful. And so that gives you a reason to buy and to trade and to be involved in the ecosystem. So that in the nutshell is collectible card game. And because it's fairly, I don't want to say easy, but like you can take Star Wars. There's a Star Wars card game. Think of any brand out there, and someone's going to license a card game based on it. That's just the culture we live in now. So
it's funny when you describe it like that in theory thing. I'm like this. Yeah, that totally makes sense. People do like collecting things. You make a game out of it. Now there's something to do aside from just look at your random collection or sort your collection. You can actually play with it. It totally makes sense.
Here's a few other ones that have come up. Just on a quick search. Just quick. A Buffy the Vampire Slayer collectible card game. I wonder what that's like. And an X-Files collectible card game. Remember, it's not just collectible cards. There's a game.
I'll be waiting until there is like a Downton Abbey collectible card game.
There is a board game. But anyways, I'll let Crofton jump in here.
So here's the thing with this is like, because I like card games. I like playing cards. I like euchre. I like there's packaged card games that you can buy, like Cards Against Humanity,
Skip Bo. Anyone ever play Skip Bo?
No, but I'm sure I love to skip Bo. The thing is there's a lot of these card games that exist. The key word here is collectible, and where I sort of take issue and what I find is so great about games like Hearthstone is how they get around this issue, and it's the same issue that I have with video games, which are now often free to play, but what the term is pay to win. And the idea is like, oh yeah, you can play it for free, but you will always lose to people who are shelling out cash, right? Collectible card games are, if it's a card game that you can collect like rare variants of your cards, and maybe those are worth money or whatever, like I'm cool with that. But if it's a card game where like the way that you win is by buying the most decks and eventually getting a legendary card that you're able to throw into your deck, and then I win because I've got this legendary that I bought 1,000 packs of garbage cards that I had doubles of to get this one awesome card. Well, like that I have an issue with, because I like the concept of a game where everybody has at least access to the same resources and variables, and that when one player has access to more based on money that they're willing to spend. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that too, because I mean, my experience playing Magic the Gathering with Bo, when we'd play a style of game that would make sense, where it's like you called drafting or something, where you buy a couple packs and then you put together a deck right with the cards you get from your packs, and that's fun because it's kind of even footing. But like if I was playing with the like crappy Magic the Gathering deck that I had made over the various drafts I'd done with Bo, and then he was like, "Okay, I'll play this." Bo's a very good person to play games with, and that he was like, "I'll play a deck that won't destroy you, right?" And then it's like, but if it's like, I'll be like, "Oh, let me," and then my confidence gets up. I'm like, "Play one of your other decks," and then it just okay, I just don't win anymore because he just has all these crazy cards, and then so it is like a pay to win, and also it's like it feeds a compulsion that a lot of people have because for sure when you get something rare, it's like a little dopamine rush, like like oh, this thing is awesome, it's better than the others. So it's also feeding that on top of like its usefulness. Like in Hearthstone, the rare times I get, and I've not paid a dime to play that game so far, but I played a lot of it. Every time I get a pack, and when there's occasionally a legendary card, you're like, oh man, a legendary card, and it's like really like this is great. But like in order to be actually good at that game, you need a lot of those, or in theory, you need certain key decks. I don't know that much about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that kind of bugs me because I think in order to get those, because I'll usually save up my gold in Hearthstone and buy like 50 packs when a new releases, but I'll get like one legendary out of 50 packs, and maybe two. And sometimes none, and then you're just like, how many packs do you need to freaking buy if they've released like 12 new legendary cards, a lot of which are good? I'm like, times if I get one per 50, then if I want 12, I have to buy. I'll do the math. Like that's insane. I'm not going to spend that much money. It's silly. So I just resolve when I play these games, just resolve to be like, okay, like I'm not going to be competitive at it. Same with the Magic the Gathering when I did, you buy a few packs, whatever. I'm not playing this to be the best. I'm playing it to just have fun now, and you just have to kind of resolve to that.
But here's the thing, and this is where, I mean, don't get me wrong, Hearthstone I think is making a lot of money doing what they do. But there's this sort of weirdness to it because it's not a trading card game because you can't trade. It's a digital platform that doesn't have any trading to it. Like you just spend money for the simulation of what a collectible card game is. Like, I only got 2 legendaries. I can dust some of my unwanted cards and maybe get a third and fill out my collection. But part of the cool appeal, this is where Magic does it right, is that you get a rare in every pack, which is like almost equivalent to legendary. A very powerful card. You get a couple of uncommons, you get commons. And then 1 in 8 packs has a mythic. And then how you build your decks is you can put up to 4 copies of any card in a 60-card deck. So if you want mythics that are relevant in your deck, you're going to have to buy a lot of packs. But here's where it's great. There's a secondary market where you can buy the cards you want or just trade them with your friends. And the point being is that for these things, you're investing. Like every time a new set comes out, because these popular games release sets like every 3 months, you're putting down $200 or $300. Like your life now, if it's a lifestyle choice. The one thing Hearthstone has going for it is it can be free to play, but generally speaking, it's kind of a lifestyle choice where you're putting down X amount of dollars whenever a set comes out. So people stop thinking about it like, wow, these are just pieces of paper that, like, it's like, would you buy 50 playing, like, Doyle playing card decks? No, you wouldn't. You would just buy 1, maybe 2. So it's really a license to print money, and we enjoy the hell out of it. And sometimes when I'm playing these games, I look at it and I go, "Why are we spending money on this?" Like, and I had a pretty large Magic collection that I got rid of actually.
And the trading angle that you brought up is a good one, Bo, because I had never really thought about that. When like looking at the positives of Hearthstone, like it really is like a collection that it's your own walled garden that you're in, and that satisfaction of like meeting your friend and saying like, I got 2 of these, I have doubles of these, and I know you want this, and let's make a trade. Like that's not there, and there's something like 1980s-y like about that, like that is attractive to me, but getting back to like sort of just talking about sort of the money involved, even a game like Hearthstone, which is a game that gets these updates that you mentioned regularly. One thing that frustrates me is the fact that like, okay, Well, every time these new cards are added to a game, you're adding new rules, new components, new elements to this thing. It's like a growing thing, which can be beautiful in many ways, but can also like the more variables, the more chances of stuff messing up, right? So like different games handle that in different ways. Like I know Magic has like there's like one version where all cards are all from all eras of Magic are good, and then there's ones where it's limited to most recent cards. And Hearthstone has like I know recently they did a cleanup and they eliminated like or some and you guys would know better than me, but they eliminated the use of a lot of older cards. And I'm wondering if these are cards that like people could have spent money on or whatever, in which case then it becomes really, really frustrating. And it kind of reveals the futility of it. Like when at one point it's like this thing that you desperately wanted. I'm buying this. Oh, there's a new expansion. I'm getting all the new ones. And then you get them. And then to find out like, oh, a year later, yeah, that expansion, that's 3 expansions old now. We've stopped supporting it and we're moving on to that. So those cards are just, a pile of plastic for you now if they're hard copy ones, or if they're digital. It's like maybe you invested real money. Mike didn't, but a lot of people did, and then they it's worth nothing to them anymore.
There's a social contract with collectible card games that no one really explains to you. They just kind of say, here, buy 3 packs and let's draft. It's like drugs. They're just like, here, just try it today. Just try playing today. But the social contract with the collectible card game is that they are fun, and some of them are extremely well designed, and if you get hooked and find them fun, then it becomes a lifestyle choice. Like it becomes, well, I have to spend a certain amount of money. The price of this game for me is $200 every 3 months, let's say, and it's like buying milk with an expiration date. You can't be mad 5 weeks later when your milk is curdled. So
but
same deal, but they don't disclose it. But that's the deal with the trading card game.
Yeah,
culture.
but the thing about that is that like, I mean, again, I don't know too much about this stuff, but it's like even Hearthstone, who have, kind of just now they're having season, they've kind of like discontinued certain cards, but they leave an option open. I think they call it wild or something, where you could just play like any card. And I know the same is true of Magic the Gathering, right? Like you could just be like, okay, whatever. I mean, and you're playing with your friends. You can just say like, you can be a rules nerd and say, okay, we're playing like latest edition, or you can just be like, whatever, let's play any card we want. You can make your own rules. There's mini games. There's lots of ways to play, and I think that's maybe part of the appeal is the variation that can come from when you have extensive kind of card libraries that accrue. You can play it in its current format. You can play it with anything goes, whatever. It's still fun, or potentially still fun. Which kind of like, I still think this whole thing. It's interesting that it mixes the two things, because a game and the trading card. Because like when Crofton talked about reminiscent of the '80s, I definitely thought about in the whole trading aspect when I collected wacky cards. And you go to school and you have wacky cards, and it's like, yeah, you got a couple like sort of uncommon ones, and you trade with a friend because the goal is to complete your collection for that season. So that's like you're trying to collect once you have a full set, you've done it, right? Now I've never thought of that for something like, and again, like Hearthstone's the only experience I have with this currently. I've never been like, I want to get all the cards for new season. It's not even crossed my mind to try to do that. Because I play it because for me it's primarily a game. It's the game that I enjoy, not the collecting. Or even if trading was a component, I would be like, who cares? The idea to get them all makes no sense to me, and I understand that maybe you need to do that if you want to be competitive. But then again, it comes back to like, well, why do you play games? It's like if you play games to be the best at the game, that's silly because do the numbers, you're not going to be. But if you play it to have fun, it's like, well, you can always find someone who has the same kind of cards you have. And I find, and if you play with friends, like when I play with Bo, he was always like, oh, okay, you don't have an extensive library. Well, I'll just use this deck, whatever, it'll be fun. And he always made it fun, and we always had good games, and he, was able to win some, and he won probably more. And let's face it, a lot more. But whatever, like it was able to be fun, and Hearthstone's good in that it has a ladder system. So it's like if you don't have all the cards, whatever, you just stay low in the ladder. You're still gonna win some because it has an element of chance. So like I guess it's just like what's the goal? And for me, when the game element's there, the game is the goal, and the collectability of getting a full set it's for me it's silly, and it's like, and that's I think taking advantage of people's obsessive compulsive behaviors to like I gotta have all of them, or people who are OCD and like I'm missing that card, I need to get it, I gotta buy 50 more packs.
There's a
But
part
what
of
if you
this-
got to buy the cards to win the game? Like it's not just collecting.
Well, the thing
like,
is you don't need to, because you need to buy them all to win the meta game. Is that the right term? Where it's like you move up the ladder and you become a legendary player in Hearthstone.
Well, it's more that people who are really into the game discover competitively that certain combinations of cards in these trading card games are favored to win. So the meta is what the most frequent types of decks you're seeing. So now, Mike, you play Hearthstone, which is generally known as the RNG of it is pretty forgiving, meaning
What's that? What does that mean?
it means that like it's swingy in nature. So
But what is RNG?
RNG stands for random number generator.
All right.
And so it's notorious kind of for you might have not have spent as much money, but you can build a deck that's effective or is might quote unquote cheap and doesn't require skill maybe, and still have it work. Where arguably, like if you want to play Magic in Constructed, not the draft version, Constructed is where you build your own deck. Your price range on building the deck, not the packs, if you're just to buy the cards individually, is anywhere between $100 to $1,000. Sometimes more
$1,000
if you're going deeper. But this is the Rolls Royce of trading card games, and the people who are invested in that environment are like, yeah, it's $1,000, buddy, if you want to compete. Otherwise, get out. The Wimbledon aren't buying Canadian Tire tennis rackets.
Tournaments. They have tournaments.
Tennis players buy, high quality tennis rackets and gear for their sport. And Magic culture, they view themselves the same. So in that sense, as a quote casual player in Hearthstone, it is financially more forgiving, because I've played a lot of Magic, and like your poopy decks, there's no like, oh yeah, just play a poopy deck and you'll beat decks. You will beat no one. No one's gonna bring a deck like that. It's vicious. There was, sorry, I know you want to make a point, but part of this too, Michael, is that there is a culture of having new. So like, I always find it funny that no one plays playing cards anymore. I used to love playing euchre, and like that's a solved game. It's kind of easy when you know the strategy, but it's fun. But people really want new stuff, like the fact, like the hype of new things. Like, oh, there's a new Thor trailer. It's Thor Ragnarok, and oh my God, Hulk is in it. There's that kind of like anticipatory hype amongst people in the culture who want the new things too. And trading card games, because it's like, let's print off a bunch of art and new rules. There's always that cycle in it as well, which is it's an important feature of it.
I think I saw Crofton's facial reaction when you were like, euchre is a solved game, and I don't want to speak for him, but I'm like, look, I'd play euchre right now because it's fun. And the thing is, like, yes, there's strategies, and if you understand certain tells or whatever, the point is it's still going to be there's an element of randomness when you play the game.
Yeah.
And I find like every time I played euchre, different random stuff happens.
That's
and
it's the randomness of backgammon too, though, right? Like it's still solved.
But I mean that's part of what makes it fun. Like these aren't, to me, I don't see these games. They're never going to be chess, right? These games are never shuffled. There's an order in which the cards come out. Like, yes, you can control them to some extent, but you cannot. You can have a card you need, and there could be two of them in your deck, and if they happen to be right at the bottom, and that can happen, you're not, you can't count on that. That's randomness. So as long as you're playing a game with elements of randomness, and if your goal is to be the best at that game, that's a recipe for misery. But if your goal is to have fun, you'll achieve it. Like I just find it so silly to be like, I need to get them all to be the best or whatever. Like it's just, you're gonna be frustrated most of the time. But if you just want to have fun, and it's like, I think of euchre. I always had fun playing euchre, and like I lost a lot and I won a lot and whatever, because it's random. Sometimes the cards just go your way and you're like, man, I always got two bowers in my hand, and you're just slamming them down. And other times you're like, what nines again? God damn it! It just goes that way. Right?
Well, it's part of a bigger thing, which is like, not to bring it back to video games, but not only is it my comfort zone, but it's also games. So there is that relation there. But there's a movement in video games right now to create these open platforms instead of like giving you a closed product where you'd play a game from beginning to end. You'd end the game, credits would roll. And you'd be like, wow, now I'm going to play another game. Now games are often designed as services, platforms where like the game continues and they update it. Oh, now there's a new there's a new character added. There's a new map added. There's a new thing. And it's like a trinkle to keep people engaged, to keep them involved and that sort of thing. Blizzard is a master of this across all their game services, and Ubisoft is becoming bigger as well. So collectible card games are really similar in that regard, because across video games, card games, whatever, I'm a big fan of everything in the box. Like, let's open the box, and there's expansions to board games and things like that, and I don't mind those so much, but like I really like the idea of like everything we need to play evenly and to distribute is in the box or is in this pack, and that we're splitting up. But then that's over. Like, that's over for a guy like me who plays casually. That's over. For it to be a lifestyle, as Bo explained earlier, there needs to be more. There needs to be that anticipation. There needs to be all that stuff. And there's a lot around the collectible card games that is cool and positive. That we didn't even like the fact we haven't even really talked about the art style and how all of these are like can be painted or hand drawn or with like cool images and all that sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of appeal to these things, but the idea is they do want to, as you both have said, in one way or another, get their hooks into you, and like. Like anything that can get their hooks into you, there's a fair amount of fun to be had there, but there can be risk for those who don't have self-control. There can be risk for those who, like in the case of, I haven't read any articles or don't know if this is true, of people who spend well beyond their means in magic or whatever, but maybe that happens. Those are all sort of things that are related to what the nature is. And Bo talked about it earlier when he was saying, when every once in a while he'd have an epiphany when they'd be getting new packs or new things, being like, what am I doing here? What is this here? And then he got rid of a ton of his cards at one point when he was like,
all of them.
Yeah.
I sold the valuable ones and got rid of the rest.
And I understand, and there's replacement in your life for the sort of things that do it electronically, and it takes a lot of physical space, has a lot of environmental impact. I get all that stuff, but I just feel like by nature, I'm prone to really like this topic in that I like card games. I like games in general. I like card games. I like fantasy and sci-fi, which is really heavy, and I think pretty much every single one of these games until they release the Downton Abbey edition. I like I like nice art. I like playing with friends. I like pretty much if you did a diagram of all the things I like, CCGs would be like right in the middle of a lot of that. It's just that there's all this sort of like it feels like the companies are trying to get you addicted. And then there's the whole by having these like either pay to win elements or chronic collectors, like looking for whales, like in poker or whatever. I don't know. That's the part that bothers me.
I do kind of, and I agree. And I do think that it's the whole, how are you approaching it? And I think there's too much of people that when they start to get into something, they want to be good at it. I know it sounds a bit of a cop out to be like, don't try to be good at it. It sounds silly, but it's also like, but again, if that's your goal, it's just like, these are pastimes, right? These are leisure activities. For a very small group, maybe they can find a way to make a living out of it. And maybe for that to happen, there needs to be 10 million that try and fail at it. Maybe that's also part of it. But like, if you just treat it as a game, and if the goal is to have fun, then it's never going to be a problem. Because like I would tomorrow, if you guys wanted to go into a comic book store and buy 10 packs of Magic the Gathering and do a draft, and it would be fun. It would be. And then we'd throw them in the garbage after. Bo could take the 2 valuable ones and sell them or something. And that's it. It'd be because then it would just be a game, right? It would just be a game. And we played it, and there's a funny element of chance, and it would be a fun time. We'd hang out with our friends. It's like with, I think of that like when you're playing games with your friends, it's fun, right? And it's like, but once you start going to like trying to be competitive or go to things like this, it can be not that the fun goes out of it, but then it becomes something different. And I think of the few times, was it only the one time? I might have gone twice with Bo to like a what do you call it, like a where it was like a Magic the Gathering
pre-release. I think we went to the pre-releases when a new set came out and you bought a bunch of packs, you open them, and you can only build your deck from the cards you opened, like 3 packs and a booster, I think they're called.
Well, I don't remember, but whatever. Yeah, you go and you get these cards, and it's like a little tournament, and it was like, I was like, wow, some people take this really seriously. And after having got my ass kicked by a 12-year-old like 3 games in a row, and also realizing that people take this seriously, and not that I didn't, but I also was like making jokes to strangers, and they could tell some of them like they were like, no, I'm here to play, I'm here to win, and I was just like, I'm here to have fun, and this is less. I have way more fun playing with Bo in his apartment than I did at any of those drafts. Because again, I don't know what those people's goals was. Was it to get to edge themselves up? They're like, I'm trying to improve. I need time playing the game and draft to get better at my strategy. And I'm just like, whatever. Fun should be your goal.
I do get that, but in defense of it, it's like it's a hot like. This is pegging itself as a lifestyle hobby in the same way that like somebody who's really into modeling and does like doing models and stuff and makes a model airplane and then makes another model, and then it's like it's not just like a rec board game time. This is like lifestyle, like the way Bo plays Heroes of the Storm. Like it is now a lifestyle thing, and people go to, be they hockey tournaments or other tournaments, and this is a thing that they've said, okay, it's going to occupy this space in my life. Like my hobby is collectible card games, in particular this one. And I want to participate in tournaments to win. I want to collect the whole suite and all that, and I can appreciate that. Honestly, I can. Like, I can appreciate, when I find out somebody has no hobbies, I always say, like, how can you not have? You've got to have stuff that you're interested in. So far be it for me to poo-poo, like, if they have a hobby. But at the same time, I do agree with Mike in terms of echoing the way I see these games, which is like, I want to play them for fun with my friends occasionally. I want it to be a game, and I don't want it to be a lifestyle. For me, does that mean I begrudge it as a lifestyle to others? My only issue really stems more from the companies, like, cranking the money out of potentially.
It's hard not to look at it as an outsider, as someone who's not, let's say, not into gaming culture. Who understands that unwritten contract. It's hard for someone like that to not look at it and go, it just looks like you're flushing money. I like the book Harry Potter, so let me buy 10 copies of it just for the sake of having 10 copies of it. Like, that's what that looks like, is you're buying these cards, you're spending this money online for what is manufactured scarcity, essentially. I don't know if we need more education around it, like, or if it actually is kind of the sucky part of the way that this sort of culture is constructed. But
is also it's like the culture is defined by the people who are the competitive ones, right? It's like,
yeah, sure.
And then it's because I would agree with that kind of, and I probably am an outsider, I guess. Even though I play Hearthstone like every day, I'll play a game or two because it's pretty accessible. So I feel like I play it a lot, but like I don't think I'm involved in the culture, and so but in the sense that, like, again, my goal is like, it's fun. I might win a game, and then I'm like, I'll probably lose a game. Like, whatever.
Yeah. But if you put you in a room with a bunch of people who play Hearthstone, you're not lacking for conversation. You could probably have a laugh over, I don't know, this card's OP, or like this thing, like
what does that mean?
Overpowered. So so to clarify for listeners, Michael is not really savvy at all about gamer culture and the online gamer culture. But what I'm referring to is that you do have shared experiences with other people who play Hearthstone. Like you and I will play and we'll talk about
no,
it.
but say you say that and it's funny because like I would rather play Hearthstone honestly with like you, or
sure.
Crofton. Even though I hate
of course. It's games are fun. Like all the games I play are definitely more fun with friends. Like that's
right.
That's true of
and they
everyone.
would be more fun because the thing is like I play these games with strangers and you can tell some of them are the same as me, but you can tell some there's like people. I always joke that Crofton's like one of these types. If he wasn't my friend, I would hate playing games against him. The trolling types, the ones who wait till victory is assured before taunting you. And it's like, if you were to play a card game with someone like that in real life, you'd be like, this person's a fucking asshole. But I'm like, half of Hearthstone players are like that. Wait till my victory is assured, now taunt you. I'm like, why? Why do you do that? And I'm like, it's like the trolling culture. It's like the worst of it's like the 4chan internet people who are into gaming and they go and play Hearthstone and they're like, I'm in it for the lols, fuck you suck. And it's just like, I hate that. I'm like, I like to have fun playing a game. I don't troll other people. And I understand that it's sometimes the cards go my way and sometimes they don't. And there's a bit of strategy and a bit of luck. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and that's okay. You don't have to like rub people's faces in it. No, I'm just like, I don't understand. So that culture,
but that's the online gaming culture.
Yeah,
because in real life, when you play trading card games, like some of the most respectful behavior is at the pre-releases or at the drafts we go to or at Magic card shops. Like I don't have a single bad experience playing games in real life, even with strangers, even if they've been really competitive. You know, they might have been.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. People were cordial, though. Again, I thought it was not quite. It wasn't necessarily fun or
like
funny.
Some of them lack social skills, like lack of deodorant and just can't interact with humans because they're the not social nerd, right? You know, like we saw a lot of those. We just you'd say like hello, and then they'd like look like they'd shrink 3 inches into their chair, and you're like, this person is one of those socials. I don't like socials. Like that kind of nerd. Yeah. Like there were definitely a few of those, and also this is the best part. So the awesome thing about the Magic Gathering culture is there are judges, and you go to get certified for judges, and the judges, they actually wear like Foot Locker referee shirts or whatever. So and this one guy, like, okay, like he was a big guy, and that's not why it was funny. But what was funny about this guy is that, he had a bit of the comic book nerd from Simpsons going on. Right? And I have that too. But his referee shirt was covered in mustard stains.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was the part that was just like, oh my God. What are we, like, it was like the dirtiest thing ever. It was just
but what was funny, because that was the one I went to, because I recall that guy. He was a nice fellow.
He was very nice. Yeah.
But the other referee was his complete opposite in that he was probably 6'5" and weighed 98 pounds and had like thick Coke bottle glasses, and I was like, these guys are hilarious. It's like they got together and planned it to be like, let's both become referees. Everyone will think it's hilarious. But
I mean, think about what it takes for your life. Like, you guys are kind of, you've been poking fun at me about me being a Twitch affiliate now, by the way, which we didn't talk about at the top of the show, but I'm affiliate now. And
is that good? Are we supposed to worship that?
Yeah, not everyone gets it. You get invited, and
we're his subs,
and it just means I get access to subscription, like stuff in the live streaming of gaming culture. And
he's a big fucking deal, Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Not really. It's a thing that I'm happy about. But wow, I even lost my point. What was my point? It's like
I'm better than you.
No, it was not that. It was that. Like, that's the same thing. The judges. Imagine your chosen thing is to, like, the rules. Here's another thing that's fascinating about Magic the Gathering. The comprehensive rules for Magic the Gathering is a 600-page Word document. Oh. It is like reading legal. And I've read it to verify rules and just for fun. Judges have to know.
Yeah, you mean fun.
Because I find it interesting. Judges have to know what's in that rule book and get examined, like they get tested on it. It's like going for a driver's license or becoming a medical doctor. You have to get a degree and then get your medical license, or your lawyer. You have to be with the Ontario Law Society. Like these people have devoted their time and their life to being judges in a trading card game, and that's insane when you really think about it. That's
It is
it's
insane.
a special thing.
It's also just like it it's it's like the compulsive aspect of that. That's the bad part of this. I'm pretty much ready for verdict.
Yeah, I think I'm getting there too. I just it is I would look at the money side of things and say like this doesn't seem forward. It seems like people who know about it know why they do it, and the value proposition for everyone outside is not there. All right, let's I mean, Crofton, unless you have like a last
no, but I'll go first on verdicts.
Okay. I have to go in the middle because I'm the host guy, unless Crofton's also gonna what's the word for it? Usurp my authority.
Whatever.
No, I won't usurp. I won't usurp.
Oh yeah, not usurp, but usurp.
Bring
I won't.
Usurp.
I won't do
animals
it.
out already.
Yeah, bring the damn animals.
I'm looking for them. There they are. Whoa, they're loud.
Order, I say. Order in the court.
Order in the court. All right, Crofton, it's all yours.
So I used to play this game that I invented with my brothers when we were kids. We had Marvel collectible cards, and each superhero had like powers on them. And so they were divided into different categories. And so pretty much like the game involved whoever was leading on the hand saying like strength 7, and then if you had a superhero that had a higher strength than 7, then you would take control, and then you'd be like, I don't know, weapons 9, or Galactus incidentally was the best. Doctor Doom was the only one who could beat him because he had
Silver
more weapons.
Surfer was pretty up there too.
Yeah, very very high. But really, they were just like they're supposed to be cards used in the same way hockey cards or baseball cards were used. It'd be like if you pulled a hockey card and you're like Wayne Gretzky goals 92, and then somebody else is like, oh shit, I lose. So what like we made our own game. And the reality there is like there is an appetite for both these things, and it makes perfect sense to me that they exist. Although I am exactly as Bo said on the outside, like I'm a bit of an outsider. Mike always likes to say how I hate Hearthstone, and the reason he says that is because I played Hearthstone, a lot when it first came out. I had a really good time, and then I stopped playing it, and they kept playing it. And they keep playing it, and they keep playing it, and I'm done with it. And for me, that's how I like my things. I like to have like closed experiences that I take out from time to time, and sometimes I reinstall Hearthstone and I play a little bit, and I get rid of it again. That's me. That's how I like things. I feel like collectible card games are not designed for people like me. And while I appreciate all the stuff I appreciated as a kid when designing my own little game, like the idea of having these dynamic, fun science fiction and fantasy cards, having a game in it that you can play with your friends, the concept of like it dominating all aspects of my life and being an intense hobby, that it serves to sort of like fund a lot of these companies that are designing these games to be with planned obsolescence. The idea a lot of the cards will become obsolete, and in many of the worst case, and this is starting to change, the idea that you have to spend $1 zillion to win the game. And so they get you hooked on these tournaments and the lifestyle, and then they say like, but if you want to get good, you got to spend a ton of money. And Bo talked about some of the big dollar amounts that you have to drop. So that element of the whole thing is frustrating, but I've had so much fun with these in my life for finite periods of time that I can't just go out and say that they're bad, even though I see a lot of the negatives associated with them. So for that reason, I'm going to say that they're bullshit.
There's the sound of bullshit. All right, I'm going to go next. Yeah, trading card games. I think overall they're fun. Like, I have problems with them from a mechanic standpoint, in that sometimes I find they're not to my taste. It's not a knock against trading card games, but sometimes it's very much you play one, I play one, and this does 2 attack, that does 2 attack, and there's sort of a simplicity to it, which is just, if that's your taste, like there's a complexity, like in terms of rules and how things work, in these games, but at the same time, they're very like it's your turn, it's my turn kind of thing, and there's a lot of different competitive games out there. So maybe not overall my genre, even though I spent a lot of time with it. I think they're pretty amazing. I think they're a lot of fun, but like I think for some of us, we spend some time in it and then we're done with it, and then some people are just play it for a long time. The only aspect of it is not that it actually is an expensive lifestyle sport, is that we haven't communicated that up front to people and just made it a thing. Like if you're going to play hockey for a season, like actual ice hockey, you're going to have to invest in some skates and some pads and some sticks, and things are going to break, and so there's going to be a cost associated with doing this activity. I feel that's the same, and that's sort of the only problem I have with how not upfront trading card games are about this issue, because they're literally designed to vacuum money out of your wallet if you're passionate. But that aside, if you're passionate about the games, they're fun. I like the hype. There's a new expansion for Hearthstone coming out. What is it called? Wrath of the Frozen Throne or something like that. It's all based on Northrend stuff. Anyways, it looks really cool, and I've been watching it, and I'm like, oh damn, I kind of getting hyped for the new cards. I kind of want to play some of them, and I even earned a free pack because there's a free pack promotion. Got myself a free pack. So there's something to be said about those games. Overall, I think they're fun. I've enjoyed my time playing them, so I'm gonna say collectible card games are good.
So it's funny. I wish I could have gone right after Crofton, because he had made me think of a bunch of things, and now I feel like forgotten half of them. But I'm going to largely reiterate what I said during the show, which is that my main issue with these things, I think, is the mixing of the two things, and that really it's not the game. It's sort of it's almost, it sounds dumb to say I fault the player, but to be like, don't treat, it's like choose one. Like in some ways, if you want to collect all the things, then do that and spend all your money or whatever. But then if you become obsessive about the game component of them and the collecting, I find like that's like a cycle that's bad. Like I think one drives the other. And whereas if your only goal is to collect and whatever, you're not trying to just outcompete people, maybe that's a thing. But then in that case, if you're trying to collect something, don't do those, because they never end. Trying to collect something that has no ending is insanity, right? If you want to like collect something, like right now I've got slightly into bird watching, which I realized.
What?
You know what I realized about bird watching? This is a bit of an aside. Is it's just like Pokemon. It's like in the sense that there's a bunch of birds around, and some of them are rare. And then when you start to look at birds, and then you see one that's rare you haven't seen before, you're like, oh man,
you gotta watch them all.
Well, that's the thing. But honestly, like, so I have this little booklet, but there's only a finite number of birds that you're ever going to see in your area, right? So if you want to be a bird watcher and see all the birds, you can do that, and you can achieve it. And it's hard. You've collected them all. There's nothing else to it. There's no game you play about, like, I play a Baltimore Oriole thing, right? The game aspect I really enjoy about these. I like all aspects of it. I don't mind I like the randomness of packs. I like that Hearthstone is incorporated. You open a pack, you don't know what's in it. I think they should in some ways have like a draft feature as a way of doing things. But I guess that's sort of what the arena is there. But like I like that because it's random, and I like playing it, and I could play that game anytime. And oh yeah, this reminded me one of Crofton's points, which was like he plays a game and then he wraps. It's he plays a game and it's wrapped up. He's done with that game. He's on to the next one. And I totally understand it, especially for the video game overarching thing. But we talked about things like card games earlier, like say like Euchre. I'm like, I will play Euchre tomorrow with you guys. It'd be fun. I would always play Euchre. It's never going to change, but it never ends, right? Yeah. And I find the collectible card games are kind of the same in that you can always have a game, right? And I like that they're short form. They're not long and drawn out. Like it's not a video game like, it's a card game. You can always sit down and have a quick card game. And to me, that's always fun. And that's what I said it a lot. If that's your goal, you're never going to go wrong. But as soon as your goal is to like be better than everyone else, have everything, it's like it's a recipe for frustration, and I think that they do drive that. So in the end, I don't know. I kind of got it, and that is the culture of it, and I think that's a bad thing. So I think I'm gonna have to say, even though I really like these things, I really do enjoy them. I think they're kind of bullshit because they drive. They sort of suck. Aim to suck money from people. I don't like that aspect, and it preys on people, and it works, frankly, because people have that compulsiveness to like, I want all these things. It's got to be complete. They use that to their advantage, and like getting rare things is a little dopamine burst, and you get that. But if you just want to have fun, you're never gonna go wrong. Anyways, so I think bullshit, but I really do enjoy them.
I mistimed the bullshit, so I'm giving you the proper.
No, you can whatever.
Yeah. All right.
And
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna. You got any quick closing
No,
thoughts
you
before
do.
I transition?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the Pokemon thing, when Pokemon were invented, the creator of it was actually one of his hobbies growing up was insect collecting, which is again
it's like the same.
It's again, which was like regional and like there are certain
The
certain
problem was you couldn't battle them. You put them in an arena and then they wouldn't fight.
Yeah, he needed to make them fight. Anyway, sorry, go ahead, Bo, do the business.
Well, if you'd like to fight with us, you can send us an email at goodbadbull.com or goodbadbull@gmail.com. Send us an email. We want to read it on the air. I don't think we have had one in a very long time, and we know you're out there listening as we're talking to you. If you have something passionate to say on the subject of collectible card games or any of our subjects at any time, just go ahead and send that in. Or if you want to offer us a trade for your sweet Jace, the Mind Sculptor, I've got a, I don't know. I can't remember any Magic card games. Damn it! That's only Jace that I can think of right now. All right, if you want to find out more about the show, head on over to goodbadbull.com. That's the home where all of our stuff. You will find it there. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/goodbadbull. Find us on Twitter at goodbadbull. All the links on the Good Bad bullshit site. And, okay, I'm forgetting all the things I'm supposed to say at the moment, so I'm just going to own that up. The one thing we do want to do is thank our patrons. So we have a page up on the Patreon site called patreon.com/goodbadbull. And there, people who listen to the show and like what we do and want to help support the creation of the show, go there and give us a little tip. And so if that's something you'd like to do, please head on over there. And we'd like to thank those listeners who are patrons for their patronage. The patron brand really is great. All right, so that's going to conclude the outro bit. But before we get to end of show banter, I'm going to tell you can follow me at Bo Schwartz. And if you want to find out more about what Crofton's up to, he's going to tell you where you can do that.
You can you can challenge me to the collectible card game of your choice by reaching out to me over Twitter at Crofton Steers, at which point I will politely decline and call you a nerd.
And Mike, if our listeners want to find out more about you, where can they find you?
Yeah, they have a hard time doing so. But I do make a rare tweet, almost as rare as the Blackburnian warbler I saw the other day. That's a kind of bird.
You really are into bird watching. This is real.
It was a pretty cool bird, though it wasn't rare, but it was rare for me. Yeah. Anyways, I make a tweet now and then at ML Hodgins. All right, you don't need to actually follow me because it's boring.
Actually, I said you can follow me at Bo Schwartz, but I'm a Twitch affiliate now. I already said that on the show. Let me say it again. So you can also follow me at twitch.tv/Gorath. That is G0R4TH. Anyways,
oh, how clever.
Go watch me play Heroes of the Storm. And maybe even some Hearthstone. Maybe I might get in some Hearthstone streams for people. It's a good stream game.
Or you could go do something else, Dave. Go outside.
All right. So, did you see? So because our outros, I don't know, they're whatever, and we're in outro land now. This new expansion for Hearthstone. Did you see that there are cards in it where you can replace your hero with a Death Knight version of the hero, and
Oh, that's cool.
aren't they
See,
really
here's,
awesome?
Bo, this is like how I play Hearthstone, and I do play it. I don't give a shit what the new thing is, and I don't look at it at all. And then I get the new packs. Like I have 3 for the new thing. I'm like, oh neat, there's new cards coming out. I don't care what they are. I'll still play games now. And then one day there'll be a bunch of new packs, and then I'll be like, oh sweet, new packs, and I'll spend the fake gold I've amassed over the last 3 months to buy a bunch of packs, and I'll open them and be like, okay, here's some new cards, and then I'll play more Hearthstone games. Like I just like, who cares? Like,
you're missing actually a huge thing that I also missed when talking about this topic, and it is really unfair because it has a huge bearing on my lack of enjoyment sometimes with regards to collectible card games. It's the making of the decks, okay? Because you get these cards, and then you've got to do something with them. You have to make a deck, and you have to balance it. And again, we keep mentioning Hearthstone. It has lots of ways to streamline that process. But even with the streamlined process, I'm like, oh, God, just give me the cards you want me to play with, and then I'll play. But part of the whole fun of the thing is making that deck, except I derive no enjoyment out of it. I don't consider that to be part of the game. The game is playing it for me. People will be like, oh, no, building the deck is part of it, too. I'm like, no. A game is...
You're right. But if you play Hearthstone, like they now have these like recipes. There'll be like a few like they'll give you a couple recipes. So how I make a deck more recently is I choose one of the recipes, and then I always don't have all the cards required because I don't care about buying all the cards. I'll be like, oh, I'm missing like 5 cards needed to make this deck, whatever, and then I'll just put in other ones, and then I'll decide which ones are not. And some of them will be like, well, this isn't really working. I'll take one out and put one else in. I never sit down and plan a deck. Also, I never get that high in the rankings either. But who cares? Because it's like you win some games, you lose some games.
But that's fairly new for the most part. Like whenever I was playing it, you had to they would suggest cards, and you would have to put together a deck. And when we would play like Magic or something, Bo would make he's like, okay, this is a balanced deck, or we're doing this.
If it wasn't draft, I brought all the decks and just gave you decks to play because you had 0 cards.
Yes,
it was fun.
Yeah, and that's it. And so but I can't. Again, it's hard to begrudge the people that enjoy the design of the deck, finding and I can totally see for a certain personality type, like finding that perfect formula and being like, oh wow, they might derive more satisfaction out of that than actually playing a game of cards.
You know what other thing I've learned too, Crofton, about? So I'll just make some random deck, and then I'll play, people, and then by random chance I'll still win some games, so that'll keep me playing. And then sometimes I'll be playing a class, say like Hunter. I've been playing Hunter recently on the Hearthstone, and then I was like, I keep getting my ass kicked with this Hunter combination of, I don't know, it was like Release the Hounds and what the hell was it? Some other card, and I'm like, oh yeah, this, I don't even know what it's called, whatever. And then I'm like, why did I put that in my Hunter deck? And because basically I kept getting my ass kicked by it. Then I'm like, I'll put it in mine. I'll take out these other stupid 2 cards that aren't doing that much. And then I'm like, oh, now I'm doing slightly better because that's a good thing. So it's like I watch when people kick my ass in certain ways and be like, why don't I do that? And now they probably have a more whole approach in that their whole deck works well together. But I'll take components that I'll be like, oh, that really annoyed me when someone did that to me. So I'll just put those cards in my deck. And it actually has made me get somewhat better, though I still have a disjointed deck probably.
And that's one thing as well that we left out of this, which is the brain power and effort that it takes to pull these things together. There's so many variables in these games, and thinking 3 moves ahead. Like the people who play these games at advanced levels are actually it's actually impressive, and that they can keep track of all this shit all the time. And yes, I enjoy the games where there's a higher degree of randomness, and part of that is due to the fact that is how I'm going to beat often a lot of people, because they are really smart, have thought about the construction of their deck, because if they thought about it, then they have the sense of its inner workings and are therefore able to use it to its full potential. Whereas I'm sort of figuring stuff out and enjoying it, round at a time. Anyway, I'm just saying it takes these are not stupid people's games, no, they're
not necessarily, but the thing is, I find I'm just smart enough to find it enjoyable, and just dumb enough to say not be able to enjoy chess that much, because chess is just if you're playing with like your dad or something like that, and no one really cares, it's fun. But if you play with someone, it's like, and you're trying to win, it's just like it just crushes your brain, and it's not fun for me. But an element of randomness keeps it fun, and these games all provide that, because you don't know how it's going to come out, and that's kind of why it's fun. And sometimes when you lose more games, that then when you win some, it's quite fun, and you're just like, I don't know. It's
No,
not fun,
I still stand by bullshit, because this is a big, broad topic. But if we were focusing solely on Hearthstone, like if that was the only thing we were evaluating, I'd probably skew to the good.
Yeah,
side
and when I think about it, I mean, I think it's good too. It's the only game I play, so
because it streamlines a lot of it. It eliminates a lot of the annoyance. It eliminates some of the charm in the trading of the cards and all that sort of stuff. But for the most part, it is. I think it's one of the better versions of this, and I think that there's a lot of Hearthstone likes now, imitators and such, that are taking hopefully a lot of the good lessons from it. So, I mean, kudos to Blizzard, because honestly, I'm not a big Blizzard guy in general, and that is a game that I actually really got into. I had it at one point on my phone, my tablet, my computer, like all at once.
Well, maybe Crofton, you should make a commitment here and now to get back into Hearthstone with the new upcoming release, and then you and me and Bo can all actually play together, and you can be the troll, and Bo will be the guy who wins all the games.
Well, that you can only play it 1v1, right?
There's a spectator mode now, so we can challenge friends. And then you could spectate Bo beating me, and then I could spectate Bo beating you.
Oh, spectator mode.
Anyways,
and then
all right, I gotta go to bed.
They should have a triple threat, wrestling styles.
I'm pretty sure Mike is better at the
report.
game than me right now. I really haven't barely touched it.
Yeah, but you always have a sense, like sometimes I'll ask you about Hearthstone stuff, and I know you don't play it, and I'll be like, "But what about this? I noticed this happening," and you start talking jargon, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Bo's eyes glaze, and then it says like reading memory. It's going right into his hard drive inside, like going through. There's like a library in there, and you see the camera just zoom down, and it's like Diablo 3, and then it zooms down. It's like Heroes of the Storm, which is like a giant section, and then it gets to the back. There's some cobwebs, and it's like Hearthstone, and then the machine like clears up the dust, and then just reaches in there, and you just see Bo like downloading, and it all coming back to him.
I've got no cards. All my cards that I own in that game are all deprecated except for the classic cards. Like I barely have anything.
You just need to buy
play.
some new packs on the new thing. Yeah. I was just gonna make the joke when Bo's down in his brain, he sees that, then he looks at the dusty door that says like personal hygiene, and he's like, whatever, and then goes back up to the Heroes of the Storm door.
Yeah, the section that says personal hygiene just has like a giant poster of that. What is it, Gremlins 2 poster with the guy coming out of the toilet? He's like, oh, never again, not in there.
No, just be in a brown paper bag, and I put it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Though for the record, Bo,
are you talking about shitting? Put it in a bag.
You're the one who won't go near the toilet, Bo.
Well, that was when I was a kid. I mean, I use the toilet now.
No, that was just a joke. I know Bo takes a lot of showers. He's a clean person. His house isn't clean.
Although, did I tell you about
takes his poos too?
Did I tell you about the Booger Gate though? Because I shared when I went to Salt Lake City. We shared a room with John and Dan, and two actual gross that they considered gross things happened. Is someone walked into the shower to use it, and there was a giant booger on the bottom of the shower. Hotel room's really clean, so a booger down there stands out because I rifle my nose out like when I take a shower.
You didn't drain that out, Bo?
I forgot. That's the thing. But I'm like, who doesn't do that? You clean your nose. Like, you can't clean it anywhere else. There's running water.
Sure, the shower is a place for that, but you gotta show respect to your roommates.
Well, I live alone, so I didn't think about that.
It's like you know what that makes me? You're the guy who goes into a public toilet, leaves the seat down, pisses all over the seat, and then looks at it and says, "I'm just gonna leave."
I don't
Those
do
people
that.
are everywhere.
I don't do that actually. I just didn't notice the booger. Okay, and the second instance was so the first morning I guess we all showered or whatever. I was the last one to shower. And I don't know, I might have left some butt lint on the soap because the next day no one wanted to touch the soap. And
eligible ladies.
and I was like, I was like blaming Dan for it. So like, you know how sometimes I get it in my head that it's someone else's fault, and it's just like, it wasn't me. I wouldn't leave anything like that in there. But then we did some.
Wait,
we did some.
what did you do?
Then you all examined each other's butt and
Well, we
butt
did some.
lint.
We did some, forensic investigation, not of
Oh,
not of the butt.
the
lint.
mental image I have here, bro,
Wait,
is really terrible.
forensic is incorrect. It was like we reviewed the schedule of events, and we determined I was the last one to take a shower, and so it was more than likely. Yeah, I cleaned my butt and I stuck the soap in there, and then
Oh,
that's how these things go. And we were all sharing the soap, and then no one wanted to use it. So I don't. What's the point of this again?
I don't know. It gives me nightmares tonight.
To
apparently.
disturb me. The spider didn't do it. The giant spider walking around my city didn't do it, but apparently this story did. Here's the thing: is like I'm pretty sure this is a joke from The Simpsons, and I'm reappropriating.
Okay.
But I have a mental image of Bowleg getting into the hotel room, like they've all got their bags, and he drops his bags. He's like, "All right, guys, just gonna use the bathroom. Be right back." He walks out, and the door just flaps. And by the time it flaps back the other way, like you see inside it, and she's totally destroyed and disgusting, and like the other
Snot
two
and
are
butt
like,
lint everywhere.
"Oh God!" But I was like, "All right, it's all yours now,
So-
boys."
Well, on that disgusting note, I'll bid you lads.
Whatever. Don't act like you don't have butt lint and boogers.
Whatever. Those are secrets. No one talks about it.
Those
About
are
it. Like
well, share a hotel room with someone, and they'll find all of your.
I don't have much boogers because I constantly pick at it, work on it all day.
Ah,
All right.
okay.
Thanks,
Good night.
live stream
I'm
for
hanging up.
watching. It was fun hanging out. Thanks for the show.
All right, bye, listeners.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, my subs.
All right.